Hello and welcome. Today we've got Alan Fountain, and today we are going to be talking about General Flynn, the 16-year plan, Tucker Carlson on Putin and Musk, Trump ruling on presidential immunity, Celine Dion and her muscle crisis, and Mike Gill on Trump. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to my Instagram channel at nicholas.veniamin, where you can follow all my daily newsreels. Alan, thank you so much for joining me. How are you and what you've been up to?
Hi, Nicholas. I'm doing very well. There's so much stimuli right now. We've been at this for such a long time, but great things are coming out. And it's the movie, the excitement, the adrenaline. I've had more adrenaline lately. We also have the Schumann resonance spiking. All of these things that are happening simultaneously. But there's a lot of great things happen out there in collective consciousness, which is part of the legacy media. A lot of our stuff that we have covered as podcasters and geopolitical analysts are making its way to the front of the line. That past and future is all coming into reality. So great things are happening right now.
That's great. That's great. Now let's talk about General Flynn and the 16-year plan. For those people that don't know, what 16-year plan is this?
Yes, I was recently. I just saw General Flynn in an interview, and I was very pleased to see someone of credible military character talking about some of the things you and I have covered over the last the last 3 years in our geopolitical blogs and interviews. And one of the things we talked about, it's in my article, is General Flynn talks about the 16-year plan with Hillary and Obama to bring in the New World Order. And I'll read off a few of the elements that were in the first part of Obama's. It said Obama was, let me get this right here. I'm having trouble with my eyes here. To install a rogue operators in government, to leak, I'm sorry here with my eyes, I can't believe this. To remove the good guys from government, to have special access for, I'm sorry, my eyes are very blurry right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this up here, and also it's in all of my social media. This is what you'll see when you go to my social media. It'll be pinned to the top.
Why don't you send that to me on WhatsApp and I can quickly read it, or send it to me on Telegram, wherever you like.
I'm going to send it to you on Telegram right now. So you can post that. So the 16-year plan, basically what it does is it identifies all of the plans that Obama had in his first 8-year term, plus the plans that Hillary Clinton was going to do. There's an entire list of all these elements that are announcing that would have taken us into the New World Order. And General Flynn mentions in his interview how lucky we are right now that Trump came into office and he usurped this plan, because clearly we would not be at the state we are in right now. We would, as dire as things are right now, they would have been catastrophic, and a lot of us would have been deceased. I do know in my research that there was 63 SAM clubs in 2018 that closed. We know that there are FEMA camps. This is my research. General Flynn, I don't believe, touched on this. But 63 SAM's clubs closed immediately in 2018. Trump made that happen. That was to prevent where they were going to put us, they were going to fake a nuclear war with Iran. This goes to show what's going on in Iran right now and Hamas. Iran, Gaza, and Hamas storyline is the bad guys from Iran who were going to nuke America and blame it on Russia. Russia is our ally in this global war. So what the deep state was going to do was have Iran nuke us. Obama was a Muslim, and so he was aligned with Iran via Talib, the guy who used to own Twitter, the Saudi prince, who has now been overthrown and usurped by bin Salman. So what happened is the 16-year plan details everything in this meme that I will be sending to you of what that plan was. And General Flynn validates that there was a 16-year plan. So this is very compelling. So we will see that these elements that are in my blog that we've covered, they're now coming into fruition. So this is why I'm having much more confidence in my ability and my contact sources and my intelligence that I had that I was able to bring to you over the last 3 years. So all the things that I have covered, I am more confident that the plan is finite, solid, even though there's disinformation and confusion with this military general Flynn talking about this. This is very vital. And on the topic of General Flynn, there is some contention going on in our our collective group of patriots. You know, and I think this disinformation. There was a narrative out there about Mike Gill, who was rumored to be shot in D.C. This is another Mike Gill. This is not the same Mike Gill that is the whistleblower, from my research, because I went and compared them. Mike Gill is still appearing on the Michelle Moore show. Michelle Moore has been interviewing Mike Gill. There's popular podcasters out there that have spoken about the conflict with General Flynn and Mike Gill and some other patriots who thought that General Flynn was prepping to be president. You know, and who knows if that is true or not true. What I'm beginning to believe is Donald Trump is a master negotiator, and someone who is a master negotiator, he might have friendlies that appear to be not friendlies that have either surrendered if they had any bad things on them. I personally don't think that Flynn could be usurping Trump or trying to remove Trump and supersede him. What I think is happening is a lot of these storylines that are going on in our movement, where we're being pitted against people that are truly on our side, that are patriots and Americans. I think it's to expedite negotiations of our adversaries surrendering. So every time we have something come up that triggers them or scares them, because they're now seeing with Jan Hopper Hayes, Derek Johnson, SG Anon, and my original documents that are now coming out through their voices, the same narratives, they are seeing, oh shit, this stuff's coming true. So they can go back and look at what might have been written in my blog saying and know whether or not they need to surrender or before they go to jail. So I think instead of these people being bad, my discernment is that it's part of the art of the deal, Sun Tzu warfare negotiations, because it's really caused me a lot of anxiety to be questioning, are people in our camp dirty? Are they different agents? Is General Flynn really trying to take a coup over Trump? I just don't see it happening. I don't have enough evidence for that, but it just breaks my heart that we would have this kind of infighting. So I think it's basically to make people surrender more quickly, because every time these people are in fear that they're going to get caught, it might make somebody come out and surrender before they get charged with treason. Who knows? That's just my thoughts on that. So that's just basically what I wanted to put out there about General Flynn and the 16-year plan coming from a military guy, and also clarify some stuff with Mike Gill. You know.
Of course. So do you think now that obviously we've got the 16-year plan, Tucker Carlson interviewing Putin, do you think it's safe for him to do that right now? We know that there could be optics and European Parliament saying that they're going to impose sanctions on Tucker Carlson. We've got the Hillary Clinton, God knows if it's really her or not, saying that he's an idiot. What do you think?
Well, in alignment with my blog, you and I did a podcast. I said they're going to give Tucker Carlson a Patriot Award for freedom of speech. And this is when people were attacking him a year ago. Oh, traitor, Tucker Carlson's a traitor, da, da, da. Now that prediction came true. He's now out there leading the pack. So what has happened is Tucker Carlson has gone over to Russia. I've read the transcripts. The transcripts are partially already released on Tucker Carlson. The face-to-face interview is tonight. I did a post on the transcripts, plus the interview you and I did one day after the war began in Ukraine. And this is my best interview that I've ever done with you. It was a succinct interview within 30 minutes. I got more compliments. It was seen by 200,000 people, but they took it off the internet. They took it off of YouTube. They took it off and reduced the count on the other things. This is why I know that it was really good. In this 30-minute summary, I gave the entire overview of what the geopolitical narrative is globally with the Rothschilds, with Putin, with everything that was going on globally. And it's matching what came out in the transcripts. So what I did is I put our interview together. I put the Tucker Carlson link, and I put the article that I had written about that, and it matches what Tucker is getting from Putin right now. Putin, in his interview, gives a very diplomatic approach to the gut narrative, the deep meat of cutting open all the wounds of espionage that I put in my blog. Putin basically does it in a very diplomatic way. He discusses about that how he and Trump are really able to work together, and he's basically setting up validating first interview internationally where he's validating the counter narrative of the deep state media. And I think what's going to happen is this is going to be what we predicted. They're going to take out the mainstream media for fraud and collusion. They're going to take out the sinister parts of the FBI, the sinister parts of the CIA for their mishandling of treason, of helping with the New World Order and the Obama-Clinton 16-year plan to go into that New World Order. So I think this is going to be validated more by this Putin interview. This is one of the most major interviews of our time, and it's going to document what we put in our interview the day after the Ukraine war came out. And I want to encourage people to go to my Telegram or my Facebook or any of my social media. It's going to be pinned at the top, and hear your interview that you had with me back then. It's the most clear, articulate. I got more compliments on that one interview of setting up for people to see what comes out diplomatically tonight in Putin's interview versus what the real truth is from a geopolitical surgery of what really went on.
Absolutely. And I just want to say that I'll be streaming this live on my platform, Rumble. I'll be streaming the interview of Tucker Carlson and Putin live at 6 p.m. Eastern time. If you go on my page on Rumble, you will see it there. So just click on that. So you wanted to mention something about Musk.
Yeah. I wanted to, Elon Musk, this will also be pinned to my social media, and I'll also send it to Nicholas if he cares to share any of it. But Elon Musk comes out in an interview, just like with Tucker Carlson and Putin. We have Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk, where Elon Musk comes out and talks about the consciousness of aliens. This is a really short clip. It's like less than 2 minutes. I'll let you hear this little clip by Elon, where he talks about the off-Earth aliens. And so a lot of people are questioning, do we have off-Earth aliens? Is this a psyop by the intelligence agencies? We do. I tend to think that there's more out there than what we are really aware of. But it's interesting that what Elon says in this Tucker Carlson interview, and this Tucker Carlson interview we know is, I'll play it to you right here. Here we go.
Yeah, I think people sort of take the fact that we're here on Earth for granted, and that this consciousness is just a normal thing that happens. But to the best of my knowledge, we see no evidence of conscious life anywhere in the universe. So it might be there. Physics they call sort of the Fermi paradox. After Enrico Fermi's amazing physicist asked the fundamental question: where are the aliens? Yeah. A lot of people ask me, where are the aliens? And I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me. I would think. Yeah, I'm very familiar with space stuff. And I see no evidence of aliens.
So this is very compelling, that he comes up with that narrative. The interview goes on a little bit longer. It's a longer interview, but that's just an excerpt that I put into my blog. So we have this whole narrative going on out there. And I think what this is doing is right now we are hyper-focused on Christianity. And I think that even though we know in our research that religion has been distorted, it's been a divide and conquer. I believe in God. I have a God, and I have a faith with my God. But I think what is happening with this is it's taking away from maybe that esoteric narrative temporarily to bring people back to Christianity and to Jesus and talk about maybe the fallen angels, etc. I'm trying to figure out what Elon's motivation is, because there's a lot of credible evidence from military assumed declassified papers that we might be, living with we might even be that hybrid reptilian. We might have all of these hybrid things. There's the stories of the anthropology and archaeology of the Anunnaki, the Nephilim, which ties in with the Bible. So something is going on where Elon is putting the brakes on the alien narrative for a moment. And I think it's to bring us all back to focusing on Christianity. And by doing that, it's not only will help in the vote of uniting America back to a God country. When I grew up as a child, we used to say the Pledge of Allegiance. We would have a prayer, a moment of prayer in school. Life was so different back then compared to what it is now. So I think this is bringing America back to that God nation. But I just wanted to put that out there and ask other people to comment on your site what they think is going on with the Elon conflict of that narrative. Is it the fallen angels? Do we have all for the universe? What's going on? I just thought that was very compelling.
Well, it could be both. Who knows? It could be both. Different meanings, different ways of putting it.
Exactly.
But it could be the same thing. Interesting. Well, very, very interesting. Okay, let's talk about Trump ruling on presidential immunity. What happens to that trial? What does that mean for other future former presidents?
Yeah. So what happened is recently, this is timely of this week, the ruling on Trump that he could not, that he would be held accountable for anything while he was a civilian. Now he's a civilian. He can be held accountable for anything that he did as a president. And so it looks like Trump is losing. Oh my God. The liberals think, oh my God, we've got him. We've got him. This Fannie Willis thing in in Atlanta, all of them are behind Fannie Willis, and they're now behind, oh my God, we've got Trump. No, this is a boomerang. Trump has set up his adversaries. What he's doing is he's falling on the sword, as I've been saying all along. Trump is like preparing for the bloodbath that is going to come against the deep state child molesting rapers. What's going to happen is he is clearing the Supreme Court in all of these legal cases so that when his adversaries think they're coming after him, he's going to have these rulings already set up as a boomerang so that he can go after Bush for the 9/11. He can go after all of these other past presidents that participated in treason and human trafficking. But he knows that he is innocent from the J6. J6 is about trespassing. It is not about an insurrection. He knows that. I know that. I've watched documentaries from both sides, the Epoch Times documentary. I've watched the Frontline documentary, and they are both counter narratives that point out different perspectives. Being someone that has been a part of this movement from day one, this is my 10th year anniversary. February of 2014 is when I started my advocacy, and it's come up to this date, 10 years right now. Wow. So I have seen it all, from the very beginning. I was a liberal then. When I say liberal, I identified as a Democrat because I was about, they were fake people under the social agenda. I was always about the care of humanity. And the Republicans at that time the Republican rhinos were always about very staunch, limited beliefs and judgment. And so I just didn't go along with that, but I had no idea how dark the Liberal Party was gravitating. I didn't have the sophistication or research to do that until Trump came out and this military operation came into my life and started helping me with the geopolitical narratives. And then I learned what the truth is. It's not about party anyway. It's about dark to light, good and evil. So you have to remove yourself from the party and stick to that. But the thing with the Trump ruling is this has now set it up for him to be able to go after these deep treasonous people against America. Jimmy Carter, whether he will still be alive in the consciousness when this comes out, I don't know. But Jimmy Carter was responsible for setting up the largest bureaucrat agency in America, the Senior Executive Services. This happened in 1979. This is when the Saudi Arabia came in and had influence over America. I'm sure it was a financial, being part of that deep state hub and having control over America. But they set up the Senior Executive Service, which is part of the Bilderberg Group The seventh floor of the FBI were members of the SES. We had Sheryl Sandberg of Facebook. We had all these characters. We had the seventh floor FBI members who were part of the SES. America was being run by this bureaucratic office of 1,500 people from 79 throughout the years. Congress was basically actors pretending to be doing stuff, while the real government was being run by the senior executive services. And then when Obama came in office, he added up to 6,000, I believe, more senior executive services. The article is in my blog, where to prepare to go into the New World Order. So all of these people, whether they were contracted agencies or whether they were in what I call compartmentalized roles, they were assisting running America to prepare for the New World Order. Only time is going to tell who has been able to negotiate a flip and who has been able to, who profited and can't get out from this treason charge. But I see lots of negotiations happening over the last 5 years. We had 8,000 executives retire back in 2019. I commented on it. The mainstream media did an article on it, but it went right over everybody's heads. This was the New World Order CEO stepping down. So all of this stuff is in the blog and leading up to what it is. So this is fantastic that Trump has now set up the Supreme Court to be able to say, no, you don't have presidential immunity. And the liberals think it's about him. No, it's about these deep state presidents of the past. It's brilliant, brilliant boomerang.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's Trump master plan. That's what I call it. Absolutely. You got to think long term when you're doing these things, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now let's talk about Celine Dion. People have mentioned adrenochrome in the past. I don't know what's happened to her. She's deteriorating. Her muscle. She's losing all her muscles. You mentioned muscle crisis.
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's happening?
What unique is about Celine Dion is I tried to stay in the plausible. I tried to stay out of the weeds as much as I could throughout writing my blog, because all of my experiences were firsthand. A lot of them, with celebrities and different folks, etc. So when I saw strange pictures of Celine Dion, I thought, okay, anybody could do that from a controlled opposition or a CGI. The other side could use CGI just as well as we could, to keep us. So I wanted to stay out of the weeds, but I did an entire article on adrenochrome and how we do know that this has come out in collective consciousness as being factual. And it was rumored that she was having adrenochrome withdrawal and diseases related to not being able to access it anymore. But there was this very skinny photo of her with a long neck, really debilitated looking, where she was out at a fashion show in Europe. Now we have her sister coming out 2 months ago doing an interview that's on Epoch Times. It's in my social media, where her sister says Celine is suffering from a debilitating muscle disorder called stiff person syndrome. Now, cognitive dissonance wise, although it's a real disease, they could have chosen any disease. Stiff person syndrome is a fucking dead person. Excuse my language. But what is, is she deceased and this is a play on words? Or is it really an authentic diagnosis? Only 1 in a million people will get stiff person syndrome. So you would have thought they would have said she had, she had some other thing like some of the other more common muscle diseases instead of stiff person syndrome. This is kind of letting the public see. And then all of a sudden last week, Celine Dion appears at the Grammys, and she's flawless, beautiful, walks up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, this is kind of like a mind screw to the public. Are they catching on to these other mainstream narratives of Celine Dion is debilitating muscle? She's no longer able to sing. She's no longer able to do this. And now we have Celine Dion come out. What is this doing to the consciousness of America? Is it waking people up? Or are they preparing us to realize that there's an intelligence operation? Or is it about to let them know that there's cloning? What's going on? I think it's to to break cognitive dissonance. Because It's crazy, you know.
It's really crazy. So much interesting. That was a very good presentation of everything today, Alan.
Thank you.
You're right on the money. That's what I think. I think you're great. But again, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to the viewers before we finish?
Yeah, I would like to encourage people to go follow me on social media. As I said, this is my 10th year anniversary. I didn't get involved in any of the commercial aspects of this movement until now. My life has been, this is a major sacrifice in my life, what I've done for the last 10 years. And I've done it out of my own resources. But I'm now about to join, I have my landing page that is starting up, and I will be featuring products that I've used that I believe in. And it happens to be some that either you have chosen in the past and others. And it's only because I believe in the integrity and the credibility of it. I would encourage people to please go follow my blog and see what's coming. You can see what's come out in the mainstream narrative now. Go read my blog and see the other things that are in there. We've got about 7 things that are major. I'm talking about major concepts that are coming out with generals and major Department of Defense analysts, et cetera, now. And they're all in my blog. Go read and see some of these other surprising things on the resignations, the global capitulation, all of these things that the public doesn't know about. And I would appreciate your support. I'm about to start doing other interviews and other things with people. And I'm going to start podcasting and interviewing other people on my Fountain of Truth Media on Rumble. If you would please go subscribe to my Fountain of Truth Media on Rumble. I'm ready to now start joining the race. I've gone without an automobile. I've gone without everything, sacrificing my life for these children and for myself. There's a selfish part in there, but I'm 60 years old and I haven't had a life yet. I'm ready for us all to join and have a great future and take out this darkness. So please support me and continue supporting the people of this great awakening.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Alan. And we'll speak again very soon. You take care and God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Nicholas. Bye-bye.